Hey everybody, it's Will. Welcome to Vinyl Appreciation Society. Hey everybody, it's Will. We have Chris here with us. Thank you for coming in. I brought something in today. Chris knows what it is. You don't know what it is. Let's just say before I put it up on the table, riffs. Is that a good introduction to this album?
Bring it out, man.
Fucking Black Sabbath, Master of Reality. I mean, come on.
This album is filthy.
Come on. This was originally released in 1971. Now, I was telling Chris, I was reading about this album today. This was the only Black Sabbath album that was in the U.S. top 10 until, I think, like 2013, when they released the album with the drummer from Rage Against the Machine.
It's a travesty. Not the album, but
No, it is a travesty.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like bands like Boston have probably been in the top 10 before.
I like their first album.
I don't dislike Boston, but there's none higher than Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And Boston's fine, but they're not Black Sabbath. I mean, come on.
They're not.
Sweet Leaf. The cough on Sweet Leaf is actually Tony Iommi.
Oh, really?
Getting blazed out of his mind in the studio. I was thinking we should get blazed out of our mind on camera to talk about this, but I didn't decide against it. I just decided that earlier today, and I didn't have any weed on me to bring in. This is a re-release. It was put out in 2016, so I guess, is that the 45th anniversary of this album? I think
2016.
71 to 16. Yeah, 45, right?
45.
And it's a double LP. So as you can see, it opens up here, and it's on 180 gram vinyl, so it's thick. And that's
not like that Band of Gypsies record I brought in.
It was on 85 gram vinyl.
12 gram.
There's that. And so the second record in here is it's like B-sides and unreleased stuff. Some tracks are like Weevil Woman 71 as an alternate take of Sweet Leaf, Children of the Grave alternate take, Lord of This World alternate take. So there's that. I'm going to pass this over to you if you want to have a gander. And then it comes with this, which is like liner notes and then like a picture from the like song notations and stuff.
Boys.
There's the Sabbath.
And
what is the best
Bill.
riff on this album? I don't even know if you can pick. Dude,
I love that sludged out, just into the void riff is tight too. I like Embryo.
Ooh. I love when Tony Iommi, like on all their records, he's got those little like acoustic kind of like little like gap songs that lead from one epic riff masterpiece
You need a respite.
to the next. It's too much riff.
It's too much.
It's like you're in Pompeii and the lava won't stop, but you're like, hey, I paid for this. I'm not actually being destroyed by a volcano. Can I breathe? And so Tony Iommi's like, I will allow the masses to breathe.
I don't understand.
Before I rain fire down on them again.
Who's paying for that? Paying for this.
Paying for the
Not
album.
for Pompeii. Okay.
So Tony
I
Iommi
thought there was some
is
reenactment
the
thing you
volcano.
could do. Okay.
He's the volcano spewing
I understand.
molten riff lava everywhere. And the
understand.
masses are like, Tony, no!
So I always kind of think of Jimmy Page as the ultimate riff master, but kind of re-listening to this, like, who is Tony?
This is a question I ask myself all the time. Sometimes I'm in the shower and I'm like, who's the riff master? I honestly might, I know this is like sacrilegious to say, I might pick Tony Iommi as the ultimate riff master. And I mean, I think that you would have to say that, I don't know, like you might have to say that Led Zeppelin is the better band. But the riffs of Sabbath, I love Sabbath live too. Have you heard of like their live stuff from the 70s?
Yeah.
And right before they play Sweet Leaf on Past Lives, which is like, do you know that album? Past Lives is like all live stuff from the early Sabbath era. And one of the things I love about Sabbath is just like the completely insane stories of them being high on their mind and drunk off their asses and like, what are they even doing? Like they didn't even know where the cocaine was coming from. At one point, it would just arrive.
Wasn't it snowing?
And for Snowblind, which is on Volume 4, is about just doing so much coke you don't even know what's happening. And they spent more on coke than they spent on the album while they were recording Volume 4.
Nice.
There's a story I read somewhere about Tony Iommi was high out of his mind and decided he wanted to set Bill Ward on fire.
You told me that.
So he went to Bill Ward and was like, hey, can I set you on fire? And Bill Ward was like, yeah, let me just finish these drum takes. And then he let him set him on fire. Like, what are they doing? So Sweetleaf, there's on Past Lives before Sweetleaf, Ozzy goes, "Are you high? Because I am!" And then everyone screams. But so Sweetleaf is actually a song that I was in a band called Terrorist, which is, a great name for a band, obviously. And we have a demo that's on Bandcamp. We recorded it on cassette like years and years ago. This was in like 2006, I think. It was hot as fuck, and we were pretty drunk, and we got a 4-track from a friend, and we recorded it over like 2 or 3 nights at this tiny house I lived in Amherst, Massachusetts. And so we recorded it onto a 4-track, and then we put it on a cassette, and then I played the cassette on my radio show, and I burned from the air onto a CD, and that's how we got it on my computer. So it's like 5th generation recording. There's so much fuzz
3
on
times
it.
removed.
But so we recorded just 3 tracks. Sweetleaf is not one of them. But in our live sets, we used to do this thing where at the end of one of our songs, we would finish with like a da-na, pause, and then da-na, and the bass would go ba-da-dum, and then da-na, all right now, and then just plow into
Did I ever
riff.
tell you I was also in a band called Terrorist, and we also did covers of Sweetleaf in our live shows?
And that was just like, that was your whole
In
jam?
Amherst, Massachusetts.
That's so weird. Did you open for us once?
I think so, yeah.
That was when we opened for Oasis, when Oasis came through.
Are you
Amherst
serious?
Yeah, Oasis played in Amherst.
I was
A
gonna
town
say-
of 15,000 people.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound like your aesthetic would jibe, but
They headlined the Amherst Dome. The Amherst Town Common.
Terrorist and Oasis,
Dinosaur Jr. did recently, we're getting way off topic here, but
as usual.
Terrorist and Oasis, Don't Look Back in Anger, and Druggernaut, that was one of our songs, Druggernaut.
Wow.
Dinosaur Jr. played the Town Common, like in honor of their anniversary of their first show or something. They just showed up on the Town Common in Amherst and played. Like,
Wow. Well, they're from there, right?
Yeah, they're all from Amherst. But what else should we say about Black Sabbath? I mean, Bill Ward is such a great drummer. Geezer Butler wrote the lyrics, such a great bass player. Ozzy's just a maniac.
Revolution in their minds. The children start to march against the world they have to live in.
And which track is that?
That's Children of the Grave.
Is that Do You Want to See the Pope at the End of a Rope? What's interesting about Sabbath is that Geezer Butler, who wrote a lot of the lyrics, I think is a Christian. I think they're all Christian. And like the satanic imagery actually came from like graphic designers who put like upside down crosses in their artwork and stuff. And so the songs, like they have a song called God is Dead, but it's actually a question of, is God dead? And like, what does that mean? And what is like, where do you land philosophically and religiously? And like, they're not anti-Christian or satanic lyrics. They're more questions of a spiritual nature. But this is, I mean, come on, this is like one of the best fucking riff albums of all time, one of the best heavy albums of all time. If you don't like Sabbath, I don't know what you're doing with your time, but you should go and listen to Sabbath and listen to Master of Reality.